Hi, and welcome to the 19th Annual Green Living Festival, coming to you from the Missouri Botanical Gardens, specifically from Earthways Center. We are the sustainability division of the garden, the greenies in the world of petunias. I'm Jean Ponzi from the Earthways team. Very happy to have the opportunity to interview our exhibitors, introduce them to you. You'd normally be introducing yourself to them and vice versa if this was a conventional live festival, but we're protecting everyone's health in a virtual festival this year. Big thanks, big shout out to our presenting sponsor, Ameren, Missouri, energizing, as we like to say, these efforts to bring sustainable solutions into your thinking, into your project planning, into your life. Green Living Festival taking place on June 6, 9, and 11, live events on each one of those days, and a wealth of recorded resources that you can view at your leisure, all available at mobot.org/greenlivingfest. In this segment, talking with Eric Schneider. He is the Director of Business Development for locally owned solar company, StraightUp Solar. And you'll actually hear from him about StraightUp Solar in a couple of events in Green Living Festival, but this is specifically our exhibitor conversation. Hi, Eric, how are you?
I'm doing great, Gene. We really appreciate the opportunity to be part of the Green Living Festival. It's great to see you here on the Zoom and be part of this virtual event.
Yes, well, solar, holy smoke, solar is really burgeoning, blossoming in our area. It is no longer something on the margins. You're moving into the mainstream in a big way.
Yeah, we certainly are. We're really fortunate that St. Louis has really embraced it with some of the great community programs like Grow Solar St. Louis and Grow Solar Metro East, and we're seeing great growth in our company. We doubled our amount of installs last year, so I know times are a little tough now, but we're on the right path here, and I think it's really exciting that we can transition to a new clean energy option to provide a healthier future for all of us.
Clean, renewable energy, affordable, efficient, and as you say, a job generator. Eric, let's take a look at some of your slides and learn more. StraightUp Solar, a locally owned solar company. This is absolutely homegrown, and it's like a field of sunflowers, Eric Schneider.
It sure is. Great to be part of a field of sunflowers that are all sprouting out through the St. Louis region here. If you have a moment, Gene, would you mind if I talk a little bit about StraightUp Solar?
Oh, I wish you would. Yes, please introduce us.
Thank you, Gene. Well, I'm really proud to be part of StraightUp Solar. Again, I'm the Director of Business Development, part of the marketing team here. But our company's been around since 2006, and we were founded by an orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Dane Glick, who's in this photo at the very far left with the beard here. Dane is an orthopedic surgeon, and when he did his residency out in Western Kentucky, he was very concerned about the mountaintop removal that was happening in that area and what it was doing for the air quality in Western Kentucky and for the people who are working in the coal mine. So he wanted to extend the notion of caring beyond his medical practice to the community. And when he moved here to St. Louis to open up his practice, he got into solar energy as a way to extend that notion of caring, and decided to install an array on his home. But when he looked in the phone book, there was no solar installers. So he decided to get the handbook out of this NABCEP certification, which stands for the North American Board of Clean Energy Professionals. He studied the handbook, became a certified solar installer. He put it up on his roof, worked fine. His neighbor said, "Hey, that's pretty cool. Can you do one for me?" So he got a bunch of guys in a truck, started doing some installations all around the neighborhood. And now, 14 years later, the company has grown to 1,300 installations, which we do in central Illinois. We have an office in Bloomington, Illinois. In southern Illinois, we work around Carbondale, the Metro East, and in St. Louis. And we're really proud of the company that he founded. Our mission is to inspire a solar tribe to create a more sustainable world. And it's all about, that's why this really great to be part of the Green Living Festival here, Gene, because we're all about creating a shared healthy future for all of us in the community here. And that's why we're really pleased to be honored as a certified B corporation, which means that we're evaluated by a third party to make sure that we're putting people and planet above profit. And we go through a strict recertification process to make sure that everything we do does not harm the environment or the people we work with. So we're really proud, and I encourage everybody here on the virtual festival to look out for the certified B label when they're buying their products and services. People like Patagonia and Ben & Jerry's soap here. A little more about our company. We're 75 employees. with over 25% have that NABCEP certification. So if you're ever looking for a solar company, make sure they're NABCEP certified. That's the gold standard. They know they do solar every day. They know how the safety precautions and what it takes to make sure your system is working fine. And then finally, I just wanted to mention, we're really proud to be the sole solar installer for Grow Solar St. Louis and Grow Solar Metro East. And I believe, Gene, they're having a separate segment of this power hour on the festival. So I won't go into it, but I encourage you guys to search Grow Solar St. Louis, Grow Solar Metro East. It's a community group buy and education program that reduces the cost of solar, makes it more affordable in our community through rebates and low market rates. So I encourage you to check out that part of the festival.
And I want to mention that that's one of the live events that will be taking place during the Green Living Festival. That will take place on Tuesday, June 9th. And you do need to register for that. If you go to mobot.org/Green Living Festival, you can get to the link to register. It's an easy way to check out a power hour, love that title, which is the gateway to participating in this incentive program, Grow Solar St. Louis, and then Grow Solar Metro East is its sister program. What's the story on the stance that everyone is taking there, Eric, in the StraightUp Solar photo?
Sure, that's our tribal pose, because everybody who goes solar is part of an affinity group. We're all part of a tribe here that's open arms. We're catching the sun. We're changing the world. We're open to change. And that's really what it's all about, outreaching your arms, making good change for the community here. That's what our company's all about.
And I see it just really briefly on the logos there in the bottom of your slide. You're part of the Missouri and the Illinois Solar Energy Associations.
Yes, we are very fortunate to have past presidents of both organizations. I mentioned our founder, Dane Glick, was a past president of MOSIA, the Missouri Solar Energy Association. And we also have the head of our Bloomington office, Shannon Fulton, is the past president of the Illinois Solar Energy Association. And so much of solar energy's progress has been helped by a lot of the incentives and public policy. So, and that's true for the energy industry in general. Yeah. I mean, Ameren obviously has public policy factors that helps them, the oil industry. So we're not alone in that, but encourage all your listeners to be active in the public policy arena if they want to advance solar. There's clearly a public policy element to our energy usage.
And one of the things I want to give a shout out here to StraightUp Solar specifically, and to the solar companies in our region, there's an all boats rise mentality there. You may be competitors, you may be doing the same kind of services in the same field, but there is a lot of collegiality among the businesses in these associations working to, as you say, to improve the regulatory environment to support renewable energy and to encourage the public to understand and invest in working in partnership with utilities that need to be a part of all that too. So good work in there, good networking, good being colleagues, StraightUp Solar, in your industry.
Yeah, and if I can just add on to the program sponsor, Ameren Missouri, they're doing a great job in promoting solar for their community solar program and their neighborhood solar program. Not everybody can put solar on their house, but Ameren can do more to put solar into the grid. And these options are, the community solar options with their big array in Lilburn Airport, and the next one they're going to build is really giving people, again, it's all about a better option for our energy, a better clean source for energy. So we applaud Ameren for their work in this field.
You bet. We need that contribution coming from many sources. And again, another program that you can view in the Green Living Festival will be an interview specifically about Ameren's expansion of the community solar program. That will be a separate link to view at your convenience. Eric, what's your next slide?
Thank you. So, Gene, I wanted to talk about 3 benefits of going solar here: environmental, community, and individual benefits here. So let me start off with the environmental benefits. This slide here shows really what the impact you can make on the community just in 1 year by having a solar array on your house. The average system size is 7 kilowatts. And when you go to the power hour, you'll learn all about kilowatts, average system size. So sign up for that power hour here. But you can just see in just 1 year what we're taking out in terms of the amount of coal that's being burned. And that means how many coal trucks, that's one less coal car on a train. When you're sitting, running your exhaust in line in traffic, that's one less coal car. So that means that's all better air for us. And clearly, Missouri Botanical Gardens is always interested in trees growing in our community here. So it's the equivalent of 100 tree seedlings grow in 10 years. Or if you're a tech guy or woman, that's a number of 774,000 smartphones charged. And that's just a sampling of the environmental benefits that solar array has.
The 100 tree seedlings, 10 years worth of 100 trees, I can feel very lovely in the shady imagination of that, but my brain can't even go to those smartphones. But good examples, good, always good to have those comparisons, you know. And then you have also some information about the benefits to our community and to personal subscribers, people who actually invest in solar.
Yes, Gene. So let me just, this is a somewhat complicated graph, but I'm going to walk everyone through it here. So I talked about the environmental benefits of solar here. Another big community benefit is the amount of job creation. Solar installers is one of the fastest growing occupations in the country. Before the pandemic and our economic situation here, it actually was predicted to rise 68% over the next 10 years. And our company is always still looking for solar installers and electricians. There's a real demand for that. So there's a real community benefit for people to go solar because we're a local company, you're hiring locally, these installations happen locally. For StraightUp Solar and many of the MOSIA companies, the design work is being done locally here. Obviously, permitting is done locally here. So there's a real local economic benefit for going solar that you don't see when we're pulling coal out of Wyoming and shipping it in here to Missouri and Illinois. But that's the community benefits. Now, this chart here really kind of gets at also some community benefits here. This graph, this little bell-shaped curve that you see in the orange, is the solar production by month to month. And you can see the solar production for today's a beautiful day in St. Louis. It's June 3rd. Today, as we're recording it, it's a great day to be in array. And if you're probably not running your air conditioning, you're giving solar energy back to the grid here. That's that gap between the blue and the orange. So you're actually putting more solar energy into the grid over time. Now, that's clearly a benefit. That means that Ameren is burning less coal because they're getting all that energy. They don't need to tap their coal reserves to basically run the operations during the day. Now, at nighttime, when the sun's down, you are tapping the grid here. And this is where some of the individual benefits come. And again, I encourage you to go to the power hour. We can explain more there. But this concept called net metering is basically a trade of what you stored during the day. So as you were giving energy to the grid, you get credits, sort of like what I call like a poker table. You get chips, and you're earning chips during the day for all the solar. So while you're at work or you're not running your air conditioner, you're getting those chips. So in this graph, May and June, April, those are big chip generation months. Then at nighttime, you use those chips and you burn them off because that's when you're running the TV, you're running the dishwasher, you're running the washing machine. But in those months, there's an excess. You're not going to burn everything at nighttime. And that excess, you're paid back at a wholesale rate by Ameren. So you actually get a little money back on your bill here. So if you size your system correctly here, you can probably size it where your chips are basically running even. You're basically using what you did during the day, you're using it at night. Now, there's different policy options. In Missouri, Ameren sends you a check at the end of the month for the excess at the wholesale rate. In Illinois, they true up at the end of the year. So in this chart in Illinois, for instance, that's the little math on the right here. You can actually store up enough over the course of the year that you actually had 100% of your usage was from solar, because those big months you're using a lot of less energy, but you're gaining a lot of solar, can carry you through a December and a November. So that's unique to Illinois. Missouri doesn't have that option. So again, that goes back to the public policy discussion we were mentioning, that for people to get active in their public policy, talk to their utility, talk to your co-op and see if they might want to change those net metering rules here. So those are, again, community benefits. We're generating solar for the grid. We're creating jobs. Individual benefits, there's ways to save money for yourself over time.
So when in the power hour, people will be able, and I really encourage people to check that out. It's an excellent, detailed, and very understandable way to have the possibilities and the investment option, the financing options for solar. All of that is explained in those power hours for Grow Solar STL, Grow Solar St. Louis. Eric, you can go to your last slide there because I like to see the
Sure, and probably the most individual benefit here. These are our people who've gone solar with us. They're doing our famous solar pose here, catching the rays, creating change, being open to change here. We can see our happy customers. We do arrays all across the St. Louis region, rooftop arrays, garages. We do ground mounts, we do farms, and I just really wanted to thank all our customers all across the St. Louis region for making clean energy a choice here.
Just really want to ask you briefly, Eric Schneider, let's pause your slides and you and I talk for a moment.
Yeah.
So Eric, what are a couple of the key questions that people, ask? What are the main questions that you hear when people talk to you about the possibilities of going solar? Just what would happen at an actual in-person Green Living Festival?
Yeah, two things. One is solar. What's the cost of solar? Kind of
Mhm.
what does it cost? And the answer is it all depends on your house and your energy usage and what you want to accomplish. But in general, when I mentioned the Grow Solar St. Louis program, the average system costs were between $10,000 and $40,000. So it's a real range of options there. Depends
Mhm.
on how big, how much square footage you have on your roof. Again, how much you want to offset. The typical resident probably wants to offset 3/4 to 100% of their energy usage.
Mhm.
So what I encourage you to do is you can call any solar company, but obviously why don't you call StraightUp Solar? Get a copy of your energy bill for the last 12 months and think about kind of how much you spend in energy, how much you want to offset, and then call us or call any company. We can look at your roof and we can get a sense of south orientation is the best for the sun. We can see if it works. We
Mhm.
don't advocate cutting down trees, and sometimes you
No,
might exactly or sunflowers.
no.
We don't want to cut down any nature here, but we'll see kind of what is potential power generation relative to your energy bill. And then that's where you can see if solar works for you here. So any company like ourselves, we can create a customized solution for that. And then I also just wanted to mention, obviously buying solar, the price range is probably like a mid-sized car, and similar to a mid-sized car, there's incentives that lower the cost of that.
Mhm.
So there's a federal tax incentive at 26% of the solar cost right now that's available to all Americans. And if you're an Ameren customer here in Missouri, you can get a 25 cent per watt rebate, which is about maybe $1,500 to $2,500
Mhm.
off the cost of an array. So in total, if you live in Missouri, the cost of the array would probably be reduced by about 30%
Mhm.
when you're all said and done for net cost. If you live in Illinois, I mentioned the policy differences.
Yeah.
They have something called a state renewable energy credit based on power generation. So that plus the federal incentive, it's about a 60 to 70% different from the net cost here. So talk to your solar company about the incentives.
Yeah.
Companies offer financing too, and solar definitely is an affordable choice for many people than they think.
Right. Well, I know one of the reasons why we have that difference between the fiscal factors for Illinois and Missouri is Illinois' utilities, electrical utilities are deregulated. They're managed by the regulatory environment differently than they are in Missouri. And so what they can do, what they have to do, what they invest in, all of that is, we're not going to go into the details here, but it's not that Illinois is better than Missouri. They each have their charms, and don't, you know, be
Right, and
be
I'll just add,
sensible.
Gene, I'll add one term here that we don't actually cover in the Power Hour, but the renewable portfolio standards. Many states have these goals to achieve renewable energy,
Yeah.
and Illinois is stronger than Missouri, and that
Uh-huh.
also drives the incentive discussion in Illinois more than in Missouri.
Okay. And one last really quick question, Eric. When people are curious about how their neighbors will feel about solar panels, what will this do to the aesthetics of the neighborhood? How do you talk about that in just about 10 seconds?
Well, these are beautiful. Oh, I showed beautiful photos
Yes, you
of our
did. Yes, you
customers
did.
out
Yeah.
there. We have black on black versions that meld really well with the shingles here. I really think you're seeing it more. As you see it more and more, people will get more and more excited about it. Uh, Zillow has actually done studies that homes with solar arrays sell at 4% higher than homes without solar
Hmm.
arrays. So there's actually an economic value to it here. I know some cities require it more on the back of the house than on the front of the house, but the solar industry has made a lot of progress in making our panels prettier and flatter on the roof. Eventually, we're going to go to solar glass that will be even more embedded into the shingles here. So,
Wow.
um, we're not wearing bell-bottom jeans anymore, Gene, and we're not wearing, those high necklines and they're right on the 20s. So styles change, and I think people will start thinking solar being stylish in the future.
You're an excellent ambassador for solar energy, Eric Schneider, and for your company, StraightUp Solar. Thank you very much for talking to us and for having StraightUp Solar be an exhibitor in the Green Living Festival.
It's our pleasure and really great to be part of this Green Living Festival. I hope to see everyone in person next year.
Interviews with each one of our exhibitors are part of what we're offering in the virtual Green Living Festival for 2020. Normally, you'd be able to walk around the beautiful Kemper Center for Home Gardening at the Missouri Botanical Garden and speak to them in person. We encourage you to get in touch with our exhibitors with your project ideas, with your questions. You can contact them all through our exhibitor directory and all of the resources that we are gathering together and offering like a big virtual bouquet are available at mobot, mobot.org/Green Living Fest. We are the Earthway Center, the Sustainability Division of the Missouri Botanical Garden, bringing this Green Living Festival to you thanks to Ameren, Missouri, our presenting sponsor. Thanks very much to you for being a part of this, for checking out these green living ideas, and for incorporating some of them into your life now or into your plans. Hopefully, you are finding many things that are green resources you can use. I'm Jean Ponzi. Thanks so much for viewing. Check out a lot more of the Green Living Festival.